Alright everybody, obviously we are not in the RV.
Nope.
We are at Raleigh-Durham Airport and we're getting ready to fly back home to Arizona for a couple of weeks for a couple of graduations for our niece and nephew.
Yep.
You know, one thing we always said doing this life is we're not going to miss the big things.
Nope.
We're looking forward to it and we're going to have a lot of good family time, and we'll be back with you later. Being in St. Louis for about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, that delay was not fun, but originally it was supposed to be 7 hours.
Yes.
So we'll take the 4.5, and
yeah.
Family's waiting on us. The graduation, I believe, has started, just started. So we gotta go pick up our car and then head to Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah, we should get there hopefully by the time they're done reading names. Which, high school graduations are high school graduations. As long as we're there afterwards, so we can see them, we'll be fine.
I want to try and get there by the time they read Disney.
Yep.
He's at the end, so we might be able to.
All right. See you later. All right, we got our rental car.
Yeah, pretty easy.
Yeah.
Turo. If you guys have never Turoed before, we've done it several times now.
Yes.
Highly recommend.
Yes. And something to be said about being back in your home state. Mm-hmm. Even though we're only here for 5 days, jump in the rental car. I know where I'm going. I don't have to deal with GPSs or anything like that. So,
it's
all right.
Familiarity that we talked about.
Family time. See you later. All right, everybody. Having a little issue with my hot water heater. It stopped getting hot on electric, but it works fine on propane. So I texted a buddy of mine, Jim Zimmer, who is an RV tech, Vagabonds with Jim and Amy. He just finished NRVTA RV tech school. So I texted him and told him what the issue is, and he told me first thing I need to check is the thermal fuse. So I don't have a voltmeter. It's something that I do need to get. So he said, you know, they're cheap, order one on Amazon and just change out the voltmeter, and we're gonna see if that works. So hopefully here it is. First thing you need to do if you're gonna be doing anything like this is, one, make sure that your hot water heater is turned off. Number two, you need to turn off the breaker inside your breaker box, kill all the power to your hot water heater. And then it's just gonna be a simple pull the ends off, replace it, put it back together, and then we're gonna find out if it works. So that's the thermal fuse right there. That it's actually something that goes bad on a regular basis. So we're just gonna swap it out. All right, really simple fix. I replaced that right there. The old one does look kind of black and cruddy, so I'm really hoping that this is the issue. We're gonna go inside, turn it all on, and we're gonna find out. Unfortunately, it's gonna take a while for the water heater to kick in, so we won't really know if it's working right away until the water gets hot, but we'll see what happens. And look. Well, I guess you can't really tell. We have hot water, so that was the issue. The thermal fuse. Again, thanks to Jim from Jim and Amy Vagabonds. We're gonna go ahead and put his business link right down below. If you have any RV repair needs and he happens to be in your area, always good to know an RV tech. Right. So this full-time RV life, it's a little crazy, but it's amazing. It really is. We've been on the road now for a little over a year, and like we said several episodes ago when we were over in Florida, ran into some friends that I used to work with. One couple, they kind of have property there, Ron and Becky, and then ran into some other friends that I used to work with. He retired and they went out on full-time, and it was great seeing him. We hadn't seen them in almost a year, and then lo and behold, we're up here in North Carolina, and we were just texting back and forth, and Bobby calls me and he's like, hey, where are you at? And I said, well, we're in North Carolina, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, we're in South Carolina, we're heading north. Eventually we need to make it up into New York and places like that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He goes, where exactly are you? So I sent him where we were and the name of the RV park and everything else. Next day, they show up. And they've been here for a few days, and it's great. We've been hanging out at night, you know, catching up, having a great old time, you know, and that's them right there. You know, we were actually at the store, Lurika and I were actually at the store, and we come pulling back in to the RV park, and that's what we see. We see his RV sitting there, and I'm like, Rick, I think that's Bobby and Krista. And sure enough, it was. So this RV life, it's amazing. You get to run into so many people that you don't know and you get to meet. And then we've gotten to see so many old friends and catching up. You know, just in the last year, we've gotten to see so many people, and it's amazing. Highly recommend. We are having an absolute great time. All right, so we're sick and tired of the bugs here on the East Coast. We're in North Carolina, so I'm buying a bug zapper. Looks like a fly swatter that's electric. Bob and Krista have one, and
apparently so do Ron and Becky.
And they're a lot of fun, so we're gonna have some fun with it.
Oh boy, pray for us.
So I need to bring the truck into the local Ford dealership and get the oil change, get the service done, and I discovered that the front tires are wearing a little bit unevenly. So I think I need a front end alignment. So I made an appointment at Capital Ford up in Rocky Mount. It's about 15 miles away, and hopefully they'll do a great job. All right, so I had the truck checked out this morning, and they were great. It was due for an oil change and everything else anyway, so they took care of that. And then they were going to check the alignment for me because of that uneven tire wear I found. And they come to find out it wasn't really even the alignment per se, but we had a damaged tie rod and drag link, which is that bar that kind of goes across the front of the tires, and that was damaged, which was causing the vehicle to be out of alignment. And because we had damaged parts, that was all covered under warranty. So what was nice was I didn't have to pay for an alignment because everything was covered under my bumper to bumper factory warranty. So they got all that taken care of for me. Oil change, fluids, did all that. They did say we're going to need new tires soon. Wasn't a critical thing that I needed now. You know, wait another couple months. The tread wear is still okay. They said we're still good, but it's going to need them pretty soon. So I figure, you know, we'll wait a little while. And when we get to a spot that we're heading to and we're going to be somewhere for a while, go find us a discount tire and probably get new shoes on the truck. So the moral of the story is, don't ignore the little things that you notice. You know, honestly, I didn't even notice the tires. My friend Bob did. Bob and Krista were here, and he was walking by and he noticed it. And he said, hey, that doesn't look like good wear. You know, you might want to get your alignment checked. You're probably out of alignment. And because of that, they noticed the busted parts, which I don't know what could have happened if it would have kept driving on that, but I'm glad I didn't have to find out. So if you notice little things, especially when you're on the road full time, make sure you get those things checked out so you're not stranded on the side of the road. So we're happy. A couple more days and be road tripping day soon. What's today, babe?
It's a road tripping day.
Road tripping day?
Which we haven't had in a while.
No, we've been in North Carolina for a month. So we left Washington, D.C., drove to Wilson, North Carolina, parked the RV, and first thing the next morning, we jumped on a flight and flew to Arizona.
Yep. So we were in Arizona for 5 days. We had our nephew's graduation, did some things at home, appointments, different things like that, and then flew to Utah. And we did our niece's graduation and spent some time with family there. It was lovely. And after 10 days, flew back to North Carolina. Very pretty.
Yes.
Really pretty green, big green trees. North Carolina on a whole, because we're from the desert.
Yeah.
Nice and green and very pretty. So, but we knew we were going to come back and just have some
major downtime.
Yeah. Low key, get a few things done, and just have no plans really.
Yeah, where Wilson, North Carolina is about an hour outside of Raleigh. And I know a lot of you guys that know North Carolina are going to say, ooh, the beach, the Outer Banks, Ashland, Blue Ridge Mountains. we were unfortunately right in the middle, and we were between 2 and 3 hours away from pretty much all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing we could have gone and done was one beach, and it was almost 2 hours away. And we just decided, do it next time.
Well, here's the thing. We will go back to North Carolina. So
100%.
We knew that this was going to be a very downtime, low-key time for us. And so we knew that, and we were okay with it. It kind of felt nice to just not have any plans and not go, because we had been doing that up until this point.
Right. And
so we took advantage of it. We will definitely come back to North Carolina because we didn't even scratch the surface per usual.
Oh, no.
So, but I will say while we were here, we did get a chance to go over into Sanford and visit with our nephew, who we have not seen for a very long time. So good to see him. Yep. And spend some time and catch up. So, which again, we always say in the channel, this life has allowed us to see family, see friends, do things that we would not normally be able to do if we were living in our sticks and bricks. So we are so grateful for that. There's little places to go into town and stuff. Like they have a mall and all that. But it's just, I know, the mall was
not
quite deserted.
Not much of a mall.
Yeah, true. We
didn't even know it was a mall. Lorica wanted to go to JCPenney. She saw the sign that said JCPenney's. So we went into JCPenney's, and while we were walking around in there, I could see, and I'm like, that looks like a mall. Like, we didn't even realize there was a mall there. And, oh my goodness, it looks like something out of a Walking Dead movie. It was just so vacant. It was.
I feel like unless you're a super fancy or these, like, Tanger outdoor malls, the malls really are going under.
Oh, yeah.
The old school malls. And so, because most people shop online before they go to these other places. So we did explore a little bit the town, but not a whole lot like we said to do, but it worked. So let's talk about the campground.
All right. Campers Lodge Campground. It was very inexpensive.
Very inexpensive.
We stayed a month. I think it was only $700 for the month.
Yeah, it came out to like $25 a night, which works for us. But I will say, staying a month, you do need to remember your electricity. The place itself, I'm very torn on this place because it's cute, it's quaint, it's got so much potential. I think the biggest thing is it's old.
Yes.
So they are actively updating. Like,
oh yeah, you can see
every day you see them moving things, constantly upgrading.
Apparently the property used to be a drive-in theater way back in the day, and then when drive-ins closed, they closed the drive-in and they turned it into a RV park. And you can see...
Well, you had a skating rink, too.
And then there was also an outdoor skating rink, but next to the pool area, you can see the old projection house and the old snack bar. And the buildings are still there. They obviously don't use them anymore, but it's kind of neat to see the old building still standing right there.
I think they use them probably for like storage and stuff, all their different things. The laundry room is tiny. It's part of that house, that building, so it's a sliding door. It has 3 washers, 3 dryers. They're actually, I think, Speed Queens. They're actually pretty good washers and dryers. Except 2 of the 3 were broken.
Yeah.
And so that was a little bit weird. I mean, it was only $1.50 to wash and $1.50 to dry, which was fantastic. But one machine makes it a little bit tricky as far as trying to get everything done. So I did use laundry facilities. But as we were getting ready to leave and pack everything up, Kevin and I decided to go to a laundromat because we were like, I had towels, bedding, all that stuff. We're like, let's just go get it done. And so we went into town and did that. And it was a very nice laundromat.
Yeah.
Worked out really well. Got everything done. It's cute. It has
a pool.
A pool.
Very nice pool.
Yeah. It's smaller.
Yeah.
But it's doable, obviously. It has a little pond.
Yeah.
And it has an area, like a corral for where there's donkeys.
Yeah, I mean...
that you can just go over and pet. And it was kind of on our little trail of walking.
They got some ducks running around.
Yes, the same little pod of ducks. So cute. They have 2 cabins that people rent and do that. I will say it's definitely like an eclectic park. There's all different rigs in there, very, very old. There was one rig in there that was sitting there, nobody was in it, but it has mold all over it.
Yeah.
Several rigs are very old and just not well taken care of. So
it's weird. It's got a combination of long-term, full-time residents on property and people blazing in for 1 and 2 night stays. We were kind of the middle of the road that we stayed a month. The people that would come in for 1 or 2 nights, if you talk to them, they're like, oh, wow, you've been here a month. And then most everybody else, the other half of the park, was pretty much all full-time residents. So our spot was a pull-through. It was actually a buddy spot because when we got there, Chris and Diane were still with us. So we had a buddy spot together, and then they left 2 weeks ago. We had like 2 or 3 different times people pulled in for one-nighters, and it wasn't that big a deal. You know, if you have a buddy spot with somebody you don't know, it wasn't bad. It really wasn't.
No, we didn't care. I mean, It was a spot. We did notice that they tried to leave that spot next to us open. Like, it was always the last spot filled if they were full, which I thought was sweet because the buddy spot, it was obviously a lot closer. You almost share a patio. I mean, they're side by side. But it was no big deal, obviously. No. So I think for what we needed this RV park for, it was perfect. It was, chill. We didn't. I felt fine in it. We didn't. Yeah. It wasn't like it was unsafe or anything.
Oh gosh, no.
I think that they have big plans for it. I definitely think they want to expand and upgrade, and you can see them actively doing that. We enjoyed our stay. It's not a place you want to go to if you want to go and do things. So that's the thing I'll stress. There's not a whole lot to do unless you're willing to drive.
And unless you fish. Apparently there's a lot of lakes around because...
Yes, that is true.
The campground office is also a fishing store. So if you walk in there, and there was a lot of people we could see that were just coming off the road, get their bait, get their fishing supplies, fill with propane
was
and then leave. So it seemed like that was the town fishing store. So right now we are actually on our way to Rising Sun, Indiana, which is a casino/RV park. And we're going to spend a week there on our way up to Elkhart. So our next major place to be is Elkhart, Indiana, RV capital of the world. But we don't have to be there for another 2 weeks. So we're going to stop in about halfway. We've actually are going to go meet up with some new friends. We'll tell you all about that in a future video. And just keep on going. And we can't wait to kind of share with you our big summer plans. All right, everybody. So do us a favor if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button down below and ring that notification bell, and you'll be notified when we put out new videos every Sunday. We are looking forward to it. We absolutely love sharing our travels with you, and we will see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.